Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. And
one of President Trump's core missions when he assumed the presidency was to unleash American energy dominance.
We're going to have nuclear reactors critical by July 4 of this year.
Signed an order directing and approval of many new nuclear reactors.
Here it is. It's phase one. Very big phase, very important phase.
This is a time when competition has finally come to this industry.
If we have thoughtful regulation and we get the bureaucracy out of the way, can the entrepreneurs make it happen? Yes, yes they can, and yes they will.
We're very much into the world of nuclear energy. The progress they've made with nuclear is unbelievable, and the safety progress they've made is incredible.
As I stand here today, we look to be on track to have 3 next-generation nuclear reactors running by July 4 of this year.
welcome to a celebration of the golden era of nuclear power, unleashing America's nuclear renaissance. Please welcome to the stage the director of Idaho National Laboratory, Dr. John.
Our elected officials, community members, partners from across the nuclear ecosystem, all here today together. I do want to acknowledge the INL staff that are unable to be here. We have essential staff operating and protecting our facilities, and we have staff out at our specific manufacturing capability that are hard at work supporting our U.S. Army sponsor. I'm sorry they couldn't be here with us today, but virtually everybody else is. We called this a celebration of the golden era of nuclear power. And I want to be clear about what that means. Not a golden era that is coming someday, one that is here, one that is unfolding before us in real time. Antares Mark 0 achieved criticality at the laboratory on June 4th of this year. The first novel reactor to go critical at our laboratory in more than 50 years. And Valor Atomics achieved criticality just 2 weeks later in Utah. And in the days ahead, we fully anticipate achieving the President's goal of 3 reactors achieving criticality by July 4th, and I certainly hope we exceed that goal. But this is a goal that people thought was not possible, and I stand before you just days before the actual final July 4th, before America's birthday, saying that I believe we will absolutely achieve that. And that's not the end. Several more will follow shortly thereafter. What we are witnessing is not one milestone, it's a cascade that is happening now. That's why we're here today, not just to mark what has already happened, but to celebrate what is happening and to carry this momentum forward. Let me take the opportunity to say some thank yous, genuinely and specifically. To President Trump and this administration, you didn't just set a goal. You signed 4 executive orders that changed the policy environment overnight, establishing the reactor pilot program, removing barriers that had constrained nuclear energy for decades, and setting a hard deadline against the backdrop of America's 25th birthday. That challenge galvanized an industry. That challenge galvanized us. Bold goals backed by decisive action have produced bold results. To Secretary Wright, you have been a forceful champion for nuclear energy since day one. Your leadership at DOE has moved this industry at a pace none of us have seen in our careers. And your presence here today sends an unmistakable signal that what happens in Idaho matters at the highest level of our government. Thank you for being here again, Mr. Secretary. To the Office of Nuclear Energy, to Assistant Secretary Ted Garish, Mike Goff, Rhiannon Braun, and the entire team, you moved with a speed and decisiveness that industry has not seen in a generation. You stood up programs, issued selections, made HALU commitments, and cleared regulatory pathways not in years, but in months, and in some cases, days and hours. That is not business as usual, and it should become the new normal of how we operate. To Site Office Manager Bob Boston and the entire DOE Idaho team that I had the privilege of speaking with yesterday, you are partners in the fullest extent of the word. You showed up with urgency, cleared obstacles, and kept pace with a schedule that would have seemed impossible 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago. We built a truly exceptional partnership, a partnership defined not by compliance and process, but by trust and a shared commitment to outcomes. Thank you. Please. To the developers that are with us today, none of this is possible without you. Whether you are building here or outside of Idaho, keep building. We're here for you. We wouldn't be here without them. And to every person at the laboratory that made this possible, every researcher, every facilities professional, every health physicist and safety officer, every project manager, every person who showed up and delivered, this day and these successes belong to you. Thank you. I wasn't quite done with them with those folks. The reactor operators at RACE, the construction crews who finished Dome a full year ahead of schedule. Think about that. The communicators, the accountants, the IT professionals, the protective force, the bus drivers who get people out to the site. When this lab operates at its best, every role connects to the mission. And this year, every role did. I am so proud of you, and I am so inspired by you. In the past 12 months, this ecosystem rewrote what American nuclear can do, rewrote what is possible, rewrote expectations about what we can achieve in nuclear energy. Reactors have gone critical. Many more will follow shortly. Radiant is moving their Kaleidos reactor components into the Dome right now. That was probably Rita. ALO, Oklo, Standard Nuclear are building on our site. The tech sector is investing. The country is paying attention. But as we celebrate these successes, this forward momentum, and the recognition they do deserve, We know it's not the end, but rather an essential beginning, one that will enable so much more and that none of us should take for granted. The goal was never just criticality. The goal is 400 gigawatts of nuclear capacity by 2050. The goal is energy dominance. The goal is a reindustrialized nuclear sector, American designed, American built, American led. Everything we celebrate today is the foundation for what comes next. And the people in this room are the ones who will enable it. 50 years from now, historians will reflect. They'll look back on this moment. This year, this place, this community of people, and say, that's where it turned. That's when America decided the next era of energy would be nuclear, and went out and proved it. You are the people in that story. And right now, let's go make that happen. Thank you so much for being here.
Please welcome the Undersecretary of Energy, Mr. Kyle Hosbite.
Good afternoon. I hope you can pick up on the song. The lyrics mean something to what we're talking about today. I hope everyone's having a good time. Right? Now, this is the first time I've been able to pick a walkout song before delivering remarks. So when that email came in, I knew right away this was going to be a special event, and it definitely is. Thank you all for being here. Putting an event like this together is a monumental task. John did a great job of recognizing all the incredible work to get reactors to criticality, but I also want to pause and thank the team who got us all here, everything coordinated, got the secretary here, so can we give a hand to the team that got us here on time? I want to encourage all of you just to look around and consider the community of people, the thousands of people here today that made this happen. You know, America is built on a series of revolutions and a renaissance like today, from the agricultural revolution to the industrial revolution, the shale revolution where I spent most of my career. It's unique that today in American history, we have a chance to be a part of multiple revolutions and a renaissance that will change the game, securing our country, powering the AI revolution, and providing American energy dominance for generations to come. This community of people here, you're the ones who dedicated nights and weekends. You took risk. You said, I think we can, I know we can, when others doubted you. Innovation is very difficult. It requires a type of stubborn determination. It requires a mix of American grit and creativity, and it requires spirit. You have to believe in what you're doing. And it's that spirit, the spirit that is alive in our national labs, in the Department of Energy, under the Trump administration's leadership, that makes things like this happen. I know John took a minute to do this, but we need to do it again because our President and Secretary Wright are making this happen. We need to pause and recognize the bold leadership and give them a round of applause. They're taking the chances. Thank you, Secretary Wright. A renaissance isn't just about new reactors and new fuel. Those are important, they're essential, but it's about renewing America's ability to build new things and solve new problems and lead the world in providing the energy that fuels modern life. We know that humans with access to energy live longer, more prosperous lives, and we're playing a role. We are bringing that power to humanity. And that boldness that this team, this collective team, we're one team, we're an American team solving complicated problems, but that boldness, that's what brings an idea from paper to criticality in 9 months. You are absolutely changing the game. The world is watching, they're taking note, and I guarantee they are jealous of the ability that Americans have to innovate rapidly, to make a difference, and to change the world. We are blessed to live in the greatest country on planet Earth. Yes, right? USA, let's hear it, USA. Right, this is the greatest country on the planet, and I believe we get to live on this planet in the greatest time in the history of mankind. The technology, the tools at our fingertips are allowing us to solve problems once thought to be unsolvable, and the fact that we're here celebrating this Renaissance proves that today. I'm a proud father of 4 kids, and hopefully someday we'll have grandchildren. And when I think about the problems that we're solving, it brings me hope, it brings me peace that my kids and my grandchildren will have access to an America and to energy that provides national and economic security. So thank you again from me personally, for my future generations. The work that you're doing is securing that future. Thank you for your dedication and your mission-driven approach to solving these problems. You're strengthening national security. You're fueling economic certainty. We're seeing reindustrialization come to the United States. We no longer have to ship our jobs and our manufacturing offshore. We're going to bring jobs, generational jobs, back to the United States. It's you in this room who make America proud. You make America great. You make America resilient. And as Queen said, don't stop now. Right? I hope you're having a good time. So with that, I just want to say thank you. God bless you all. God bless American nuclear energy. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Please welcome the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Idaho, the Honorable Scott.
First lit a light bulb with the atom. December 20th, 1951, out where what we call the site, the National Laboratory, 4 light bulbs flickered on, powered by nuclear fission, for the first time in human history. Not in New York, not in Washington, D.C., but here. Here in the high desert of eastern Idaho, where the sagebrush meets the sky, scientists and engineers, Idahoans, and men and women who came here to build something the world had never seen, proved that the atom could serve mankind instead of threaten it. That's who we are. That's what we do here in Idaho. And for a time, the nation walked away from that promise. Fear and politics and decades of hesitation slowed what should have never stopped. We told ourselves a story about nuclear energy that was not true, that it was something to be afraid of rather than something to be proud of. We let other nations outbuild us, outinvest us, outimagine us. That all ended with the Trump administration. We're not here today to commemorate a golden era that came and went. We are here to declare that one is just beginning. Because the truth is that the future runs on energy. It runs on the power that is constant and strong enough to carry the weight of all the things we hope to build. The hospitals, the factories, but also the homes where our kids do their homework under a porch light that never flickers. And there is no source on earth more capable of carrying that weight than the atom. Idaho has always understood this. Long before it was fashionable, long before it was easy, it was the people of Idaho that bet on nuclear. We built the laboratories. We trained the scientists. We trained the families who have spent generations here turning physics into progress. And today, as many small modular reactors rise across the country and micro-reactors fly across the skies on the backs of military aircraft, as nations around the world come to America and ask for help, they come in no small part because of what was built right here in Idaho by people who never stopped believing. Mr. Secretary, I want you to know, and I want everyone in Washington to know, that Idaho is not a bystander in this golden era. We are a partner in it. We have the land, the legacy, and the labor force, and we have the will. What we have always needed is a nation ready to meet us with that same conviction. And under this administration, under your leadership, we have the proper partner. Consider this. Since 1949, 53 reactors have been built out in the high desert. 53 first of their kind machines built by people who weren't afraid to fail in the pursuit of something that mattered. That's not just a museum piece. That's not a chapter that is closed. That's a track record. We have the deepest bench of nuclear knowledge here than anywhere in the planet. And here's the thing that America should know. We are not done counting. Right now, today, out in that same sagebrush, new reactors are being built and ready to turn on. The same ground that gave the world its first taste of electricity from the atom is leading, is still building, is still testing, still lighting up. So let this be more than just a celebration. Let's make this be a commitment to the scientists in our labs, working long into the night, chasing breakthroughs the rest of the world has not even dreamed of. A commitment to the workers who will build the reactors of tomorrow with their own two hands, and a commitment to every American family who deserves energy that is abundant, affordable, and entirely our own. We stood at the dawn of the atomic age once before here in Idaho, and we showed the world what was possible. Now we stand at a new dawn, and once again, Idaho is ready to lead. So thank you, Mr. Secretary. May God bless you and your endeavors. May God bless the great state of Idaho, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the United States Secretary of Energy, the Honorable
Thank you all so much. It is truly exciting to be here at the Nuclear Woodstock. I didn't know this would ever happen. I've been passionate about nuclear since I was a kid, and here we are. And there's a reason we are here. I love this country. There's nothing I am more grateful in my life to have been born in the United States of America. Just to give us these dreams, these opportunities, this freedom to pursue things that make the world a better place, that make the future better for our kids and generations to come. I love Idaho Falls, I love the Idaho National Laboratory, and I love the state of Idaho. It is you and here. It is the people in this room, this state, this lab, this community that are driving this pivot. We will look back in history and remember this pivot, not just in America's nuclear energy, but in America's energy. And energy is life, energy is national security, energy is economic security. We cannot understate what's going on here today, and you are making it happen. President Trump sends his thanks, by the way. He said, make sure you communicate to the people out there how important this is, how passionate it is to his goal, and how thankful he is for your efforts of taking big, bold ambitions and making them a reality. President Trump's platform, his agenda is very simple. It's to unleash the American spirit and therefore restore for everyone the American dream. In our darkest hour in the United States, or one of our darkest hours, during World War II, we were a peaceful, growing industrial nation. We were pulled into a giant global conflict, the greatest military mobilization in the history of our country. And we had a lot of a lot of enemies who were massively armed and had planned for this conflict for many years, decades, in fact, where we had not. We were a peace-loving people focused on our own borders and shores. And we launched, in the middle of that dark hour, the greatest group scientific endeavor ever, the Manhattan Project, to bring the greatest scientists, engineers, passionate builders, designers who thought we're going to understand nuclear physics and we're going to engineer a weapon, because if we don't, our opponents will and we must and shall be first. And we were. The development, that rush development of the atomic bomb, incredible technical achievement, but we should also not forget it brought World War II to an earlier and less deadly conclusion than had we not developed that atomic weapon. We saved certainly tens, likely hundreds of thousands of lives by bringing that war to an end sooner than it otherwise would have been. And then after that, we've ushered in an amazing 80 years of economic growth, prosperity spreading far and wide, and the United States as the leading military, economic, cultural power in the United States. We're not an evil imperial power. We're a power that believes in freedom and opportunity, and we've done a lot to spread those opportunities around the world. Central to that spreading of opportunity and lifting people up in our country, in our neighbors and our allies and around the planet is energy. Without energy, you don't have opportunities, you don't have wealth, you don't have prosperity. So what did we do right after the Manhattan Project? We dove in and took the efforts to what the main use of harnessing fission and releasing energy from the nucleus of atoms, which was for civilian use, for energy use, for bettering American lives use. And as you've already heard, that milestone that first started it almost 75 years ago was right here, a few miles away from here where we just came from. You heard about it, 4 light bulbs turning on December 20th, 1951. From that day to this day, the center of nuclear power, the leaders in scientific, in engineering, in innovation, and driving the world forward with nuclear energy is right here at Idaho National Lab, right here in this community. Nuclear power launched with a bang, quickly in the United States. Within 2.5 decades, we launched the construction of over 100 nuclear reactors across our country, quickly providing 20% of United States electricity. And that was during a time where demand for electricity was growing rapidly. This was a transformative technology and helped build post-World War II United States. Then we lost our way. We lost our way, and we let the fearmongers who are always there throw cold water on it and stop this booming, emerging technology, and it went stagnant for a few decades. All our existing, we had 100 reactors running. They're massively important for us today, but we didn't move forward for several decades. Enter President Trump. President Trump possessed three critical characteristics for what we needed then. Number one, an absolute over-the-top belief in the American spirit, in the American nation, and the American people. Nothing ever wavers his belief in what American people can do. Number two, for an East Coast real estate developer, President Trump is keenly aware and feels it in his gut how critically important energy is. Energy is just by far and away the most important industry in the world. And that's not because I'm biased, because I'm an energy guy. That's just a fact, because every other industry in our country and around the world is only possible because of energy. You grow a country's energy system, you grow possibilities, you enhance every industry, every life in that community. And number three, he had this boldness and this passion, but he understood we need to set big goals. If we're going to relaunch nuclear energy, that talked about nuclear renaissance has been talked about for 20 years. He said, we're not going to talk about it, we're actually going to do it. We're going to set very bold goals. Some people thought crazy bold goals that would lead to disappointment, but he followed up with all of the actions necessary to enable the achievement of those goals. Again, in that effort centered here in this community, but with businesses around our country, investing massive capital, driving innovation. And when the businesses in the nuclear space, and God bless them, and they are here today, and if you see them, most of them were not here the last time we built a nuclear reactor in this country. Young, hard-driving, passionate Americans who said, we're going to set a goal to get 3 reactors critical 14 months, less than 14 months after the goal was set. But President Trump loved that image of the 250th anniversary of our country. Because what is America known for? How did America become the greatest nation in the history of the world? We became it by being bold, by being risk takers, by leaning in, by never finding reasons why we can't do something, instead always finding ways that we can do something. That bold American spirit built the United States of America and made us what we are today. And we see that on that same aggressive, lean in, bet big and win spirit that made our country what it is in the room today. It is in the community, it is in the lab, and it is in the 10 companies that are partnering with us on getting these advanced reactors critical as quickly as possible. There's many others around in the ecosystem, but the fast-moving leadership of these companies here, the achievements are just heartbreaking. I was emotional today to see the humans, the reactors, the steel, the action that's happening. To think on June 4th, what is that, less than 13 months after this proclamation, that Antares reactor run critical. A 3-year-old company that said, yes, we can, yes, we will, and leaned in. To see the Velar Atomics, the reactor that you saw fly in a C-17 transport plane from LA to Utah. 2 weeks later, on June 18th, that reactor went critical, meaning a self-sustained chain reaction. It was turned on. We will have another one I'm very, very thrilled to announce today. I signed the authorization for Allo Atomics. Wait what happens in the next few days. I think you can guess what's going to happen there. I should also mention deployable energy. Also here today. Also on the cusp. And of course, there's other reactor companies that are working hard here. Radiant, we visited their reactor today. Oklo's here. You've seen the other names. Deep Fission. These are all companies that they have different ideas, but they all have an intelligence, a drive, and a boldness about them. I'm going to bet, here's my bet. I'm not even a bettor, but my bet is 100% success. Everyone that got chosen and is in this program, I can see it in the eyes and see it in the hearts. We are going to see success across the board. And then we're going to have new goals, not just run them critical. When are we going to be selling electricity? When are we going to be powering new industries? When are we going to be driving this more prosperous, tremendous future for Americans across our country? The heartland, the beating heart of the nuclear industry will always be here in Idaho. But these technologies will thrive around our country and change the future of our country. We have many other efforts in the Department of Energy because we are all in on nuclear energy. 2 days ago, we had an announcement for a large $17.5 billion loan commitment to build 10 large-scale 1.1 gigawatt reactors. We're going to build those too as fastly and as proudly as we can. We've launched new efforts to get American enrichment back up and running at full speed. I think we have some of the players in that. I'm sure General Matter is in the room today. They're going to be providing the fuel that are going to power all these new reactors. We have a fuel line program as well. One of these brand new efforts on fuel line establishment is going to power the Radiant reactor that's here. This is the speed of innovation and companies in an ecosystem working together to drive progress. I could go on to celebrate the specific achievements, but I want to end to say, again, a giant thanks to everyone in this room and everyone in the broader community that is running hard and driving fast on changing the trajectory of American nuclear energy. Because if you change the trajectory of American nuclear energy, you change the trajectory of American energy. And if you change the trajectory of American energy, you change the trajectory of the United States of America. I want to... 10 years from now, people will talk about this day. They will talk about what you did in these critical months and years. Your grandchildren will say, did you really work there? Did you really do that? How did that happen? 4 decades of near stagnation, and then the industry took up like a rocket ship. I don't know what you did, Grandma or Grandpa, but God bless you. You made my life better. God bless you. God bless President Trump. God bless the United States of America. Let's bring a better future to our children and all the generations to come. But it's only bold, leaning in, hardworking Americans like all of you that make that happen. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
And it's got me feeling like